What's going on, everybody? This is Clydean Fair, and this is Clyde's Honest Reviews, Phantom Brigade Edition. So for those of you who are newer to the channel, you may not know that I also do review videos besides my standard War Tales content, which originally started out as a War Tales review. Basically, I kind of got away from doing review videos, and I really wanted to get back into it because it helps me, one, expand my content, but two, it helps introduce you guys to new titles that you may be interested in. Enter Phantom Brigade. So I am not a huge fan of futuristic mech sci-fi type of titles. That being said, Phantom Brigade is actually pretty fun. So Phantom Brigade is a turn-based strategy game that is kind of a mix of turn-based and real-time. And the reason I say this is because it is turn-based in your planning, but actions and turns are taken out in the same 5-second intervals. Besides my really terrible explanation, I'm just going to show you here as, you know, I'm actually doing it. So first things first, you go in and you can order each and every unit what exactly you want it to do while you're also looking at forecasts for the enemy units. Now, the forecasting on the enemy units makes it a little bit on the easier side, but I'm not entirely sure how you'd be able to address this issue without it becoming incredibly hard to tell where enemy units are going to be, and it would be difficult to aim, rather, since you're using, you know, different weapon archetypes that require aiming and whatnot, especially melee weapons. Melee weapons are incredibly hard to aim. I still haven't quite figured it out yet. That being said, though, it is very, very satisfying in order to see your units, or your mechs rather, devastate enemy buildings and enemy units while burning pilots alive, destroying tanks, or quite frankly, rendering mechs useless by burning their legs to a crisp using a laser beam. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff here. And all of this is only scratching the surface of the depth and complexity of this game. The things that I really, really love about Phantom Brigade isn't necessarily the combat refreshness that is this RTS turn-based hybrid. It's actually the customization you're able to get. Now, this customization is kind of similar to how BattleTech is, except I think I like this one more. You're able to mix and match both chest pieces, legs, and each arm with different sets of mech parts, and each one could give you more heat generation or resistance, or more health, or more shields, and less weight so you can move farther. Yeah, there's a lot of different things here on how you customize your units. And then on top of that, there are different weapon types, and each weapon type generates so much heat on usage. That's kind of how your action economy works. You can utilize a weapon, generate heat, and then you're only able to use it so many times before you overheat in quick succession. Sometimes if you use, for example, a laser beam at early levels, well, you'll be overheating right off the bat after you use it, and you have to wait for your robot, or your mech rather, to cool down. So if you really needed to, you could go back to back to back, but you would be taking a lot of damage because your mech is overheating, and that's just something you're going to have to balance and work around. So there's kind of a sweet spot between building super tanky units and also having units that are able to sustain themselves in combat for long periods of time without overheating, while using quite a bit of actions in order for them to defeat enemies. Another thing that's really important is the weight of each part of your mech, because that affects how far you're able to move, as well as dashing and other useful mechanics for quick maneuvering and in order to dodge enemy attacks. All that said and done, though, there is some more customization in the form of paint jobs on your mech units and their weapons. Now, I really wish that I was able to really customize the paint instead of grabbing presets, but that's just a nitpick for me. That being said, though, it does provide a decent amount of customization, and that, if you guys know me, is huge. So all of this being said, what's the final verdict? Overall, the combat is challenging. It's not super challenging, but it is challenging enough to where I find myself having to restart while I'm learning new weapons and mechanics of new units that are popping into the fights. On top of that, it has a very XCOM-ish overworld map and planning systems, and I do enjoy that, and it brings back some memories of playing XCOM 2 and just a little bit of nostalgia factor, and it's well designed, really. And combining that with the sheer amount of customization for each mech unit that you're able to get, I mean, it allows a lot of creativity in your builds as well as developing your own unique strategy and playstyle. So all of these things being factored in, there's actually a ton of gameplay content, not to mention the map is huge. In order for you to actually finish the game, it's going to take like at least 30 hours, if not longer. And since the game is only $30, the campaign just to beat it once is about 30 hours at least. You're looking at already a good bargain there. And if you're able to bag this title at a discount with it being on sale, then you'll be able to get even more of that hours per dollar ratio that we like to talk so much about. Anyway, guys, I highly recommend checking this title out if you're a fan of turn-based strategy games, especially because it has a unique twist on the overall planning and gameplay loop, as well as the extra customization that you're able to get for your units, which for me is once again massive. All this being said, I highly recommend checking out this title and especially grabbing it if it is on sale, because I do believe if you are one of those people that really enjoy turn-based strategy games, I believe you will enjoy this title. That being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this content. If you'd like to see more videos such as this in the future, drop a comment, like the video, make that number go up, and I hope to catch you all in my comment section or stream chat. Until next time, have a good one.